Hey, what's up? I'm Barrett Vickery, and I help people to master their holistic health so they can create a life they love and become happier in the process. I don't teach because I have achieved mastery, I teach because it's the fastest way to learn. In today's video, I'm talking about the 4 spiritual tools that you can use to receive guidance from your higher self to aid you in making decisions in your life. If you have a big decision coming up or a big life transition where you have to choose between different directions, then these tools can be life-changing for you in making the choice that is going to lead for more happiness for you over time. These concepts and these ideas are from Conversations with God, book number 1. This is one of the earliest spiritual and metaphysical books that I read when I started my path. And I completely recommend it if you are new to channeling or metaphysics or any of these kind of newer spiritual ideas, because it's a great introduction into these ideas. So if you like this video, make sure you pick the book up. I remember a recent time when I returned to these types of ideas and it helped me. I was living at my parents' house for 10 months after college. So the first 2 months of that, I didn't have any friends, I didn't have any money, I had a ton of student debt, and I had no direction in my life. And I was like, what the heck am I gonna do? And so those first 2 months were super depressing, very anxiety producing, and just an all around bad time. One of the ways that I got out of that was I returned to these ideas and I asked myself, Barrett, what is the most exciting direction that you could go in right now? What direction could you move towards that would energize you and excite you? And the idea that I came up with was moving to Chicago. I wanted to go study improv in Chicago. If you know what improv is, it's getting up on a stage without a script and making comedy, basically. So I wanted to go to Chicago, which is the mecca of improvisation. But immediately, I had the thought that many people have when we come up with a big goal or dream. I was like, I don't have any money. I have no way to get there. How the heck am I supposed to do that? I'm in a basement right now. But the important thing is that having that big goal allowed me to get through a bunch of challenges that I had to overcome and able to get to my goal of moving to Chicago. So the key with these 4 tools that I'm going to share with you is that they will help you to get through challenges in your life. When you have a direction that you're going in that energizes you and brings you energy as opposed to sucking your energy away, you end up having higher performance, you end up outperforming your peers and getting over challenges that are really, really tough because something else is pushing you, right? You have some momentum. It's almost as if the universe and nature are helping you along on your path. So I realized I had to make some money. So I got to work. I started selling paint door to door, which I hated with a passion. I started being a bartender, which was a little bit better. And then I was also doing fitness training really early in the morning, which was hard to wake up that early and then go do bartending. I had a lot of challenges with jobs that I had to do to make the money, but I was able to be successful in those jobs because I had the goal that I was going for. So I was kind of marching happily through these jobs that were pretty challenging for me at times because I had the goal. Eventually, I made it to Chicago. That's not to say that Chicago is all roses and dandelions. There was challenges there too. But overall, that experience, which was 3 years, was essential in my growth to help me get to where I want to go, which is to eventually have my own holistic health and happiness training company. So a couple of things that happened was I was able to learn improv from some really great improv teachers and perform in Chicago. I was able to get my yoga certification paid for by the company I was working for. And I also was able to teach my happiness workshops to a bunch of really cool startups in Chicago. So none of those things would have happened if I didn't take action towards that big, scary, exciting goal when I was living in my parents' basement. There's no way that I would have known that any of those things were gonna happen. And that's the same for you, right? We have goals and things that we wanna go towards that we're excited about, but we have no idea what's gonna happen. And so sometimes we get scared or we think that we can't do it. And my message with this video is that with these 4 tools, you can have some faith that it's probably gonna work out. Tool number 1 from book Conversations with God of how you can get guidance from your higher self and know which direction to take. Tool number 1 is your feelings, okay? And this seems really simple and it seems rudimentary, but it is so common that people overlook this. We make decisions to go down a certain path in life, yet we feel terrible about it. You'll know that the direction that you're going is in alignment with your higher self and your higher consciousness because you'll feel really good in the process of doing that thing. You'll feel good about the idea of doing that thing before you start to take action. And then when you start taking action and walking down that path, you will feel energy. You will feel momentum. It's almost as if the universe and nature is supporting you. Opportunities will start to pop up. You'll start to get better manifestations because you're acting in alignment with yourself. And you know you're in alignment because you'll feel good. It'll feel like possibilities and excitement and expansion. Okay? So that's tool number 1, is your feelings. Anytime you're about to make a big life decision or even a little life decision, check in with you how you feel. How do you authentically feel about this thing? You can get as much information as you possibly can, but at the end of the day, how do you feel? Is it exciting to you, or does it feel like you are just making this move out of obligation to somebody else's ideas of how your life should be? So, number 2 is your thoughts. The second way that you can receive guidance from your higher self is your thoughts. We've all had that experience where maybe we're walking a dog or cooking dinner or whatever it is, and you have an epiphany. You have a really great idea that pops into your head. We've had that experience, right? We're like, I want to do this thing. That's such a good idea. I want to create that product. I want to start that business. I want to call that person up and connect with them. I want to do this thing. That epiphany, according to Conversations with God, this book, that epiphany is coming from your higher self. So that idea is being beamed into your head as a possibility. And you know it is because, again, it feels really exciting to you. So when you have that epiphany, you have that really great idea that lights you up, become aware of what that is and remember it. Write it down. Try and take action on that thing as soon as you can, because that is an intuitive hit that is telling you, hey, this direction, this idea is going to lead to growth, more happiness, more expansion for you. So that is guidance. So pay attention to when you get those really cool epiphanies. And on the flip side of that, pay attention to when your thought patterns start to get really negative. So exactly like my experience when I wanted to move to Chicago, I had the epiphany like, I want to go to Chicago. That's what I want to do. And then immediately the negative thought patterns came in. I don't have any money to do that. What? I'm not good enough to do that. What if I get stabbed in Chicago? What if I get hit by a car on the freeway or something? What? I don't know how to take a train. All of these ideas started to pop up, all these negative thought patterns, but they felt terrible, right? And so I knew okay, I need to block those out. Those don't feel good. And so that's how you start to navigate and use your guidance effectively. So pay attention to what your thoughts are giving you. Keep the thoughts that feel really good and keep the thoughts that feel exciting, and then discard the ones that are disempowering and that make you feel terrible. Okay, so we have 2 modes of communication: feeling, thoughts, and now our third one. The third way that the universe is communicating to you that you are on the right path or that you are not on the right path is your experiences. So start to become really aware of what life is showing you. Start to be aware of what you are manifesting. What is popping up in your experience? Typically, if you are walking down a path that you don't like, you'll notice that it's really, really hard. It feels like you're walking uphill in the rain through the mud, and there's wolves chasing you, and it's lightning striking everywhere, and it just feels like all around terrible, right? That's how you know that you're on a path of resistance. That's how you know you're on a path that is probably not going to lead to more happiness. But we've been socially conditioned that that's just part of the hustle and grind, You have to hustle and grind to get to where you want. That's crazy. Doing something like that where you hate your life completely, but you're just walking in a direction because you think the goal at the end of the tunnel is going to be worth it. I think talk to some people who have done that, right? Talk to some people who have tried that out and see how it went for them. Typically, in the beginning stages of a path, of a direction, you're getting guidance and communication like, hey, it's not worth it, dude. Find something that's more in alignment with you. So pay attention to your experience. Pay attention to what your life experience is showing you. If it's slapping you around and it's like, turn around, turn around, turn around, then pay attention to that, because that's probably a pretty good sign that there might be a different path that's going to lead to more happiness, more expansion, and more energy for you. So pay attention to your feelings and thoughts as you are in your life experience. Become really aware of that. It's something that a lot of people don't do. And then fourth, and this book says this is the least efficient form of communication, but that it still works, is words. So pay attention to what books you like. What books really resonate with you? Do you feel really good when you read certain type of stuff? What puts you back into alignment with yourself? What makes you feel good? What music makes you feel good? What movies, what kind of content? What people and influencers do you listen to that make you feel back in alignment with yourself? Become aware of what those words are, because when you pay attention from advice from those sources, you're much more likely to make a better decision. You're much more likely to take a really good direction for yourself when the words that you're hearing resonate with you. So pay attention to the words that you're consuming, the content you're consuming, and also the advice that you're getting, and run it through your personal filter. And if it works for you and it resonates, then take advice. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got from one of my mentors in Chicago, she told me exactly that. She said, Barrett, do not take advice from anybody unless it resonates with you. Not even me, right? So if you get advice from somebody, it makes you feel terrible, and it makes you feel like you can't do it. It makes you feel like you're not good enough. It makes you feel like your idea that you had was completely terrible. If it just makes you feel like dog crap, block it out, right? If the news you're watching and the content you're consuming is making you feel terrible, block it out, right? And so when you do that, you put yourself in a place where you can make way better decisions, because then you're not making a decision out of fear and scarcity mentality. So those are the 4 different tools: your feelings, your thoughts, your experiences, and the words that you're experiencing in the world around you. So you can use those 4 different tools and check in with those to pick which path to take. And you can use this for really, really big decisions, but also use it for your small decisions. Use this in your day-to-day. This leads us to the biggest problem that you want to avoid. And this is a problem that most people in the world run into, and it's a massive source of unhappiness and resentment for life, okay? So this is a big deal. It is listening to other people besides yourself. What most people do is they have their own feelings about something. They're like, yeah, I want to do this. But then they disregard their feelings and they say, no, I'm not going to listen to that. They have their own thoughts about what they think they should do. They don't listen to it. They have their own life experience that is supporting their idea and supporting their direction, and they don't listen to it. But what do? They go to their parents. They go to their teachers. They go to their friends. They go to the news. They go to influencers online. They go to the government. They go to anybody else besides themselves to make a decision. When you do that, it's almost a recipe for disaster. It almost never ends up well. Now again, you can take advice, but make sure that advice resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, then you need to shut it out, okay? So that is the biggest problem, which leads to a couple do's and don'ts when using this system. Number 1, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that your thoughts, your feelings, and your life experience is valid. You have to trust that you are the number 1 expert in your own life. You have to trust that you know what is best for you, right? And then above all else, trust that you are being guided. Trust that the higher consciousness, the higher piece of yourself, that you are a multi-dimensional being, and that higher self is communicating to you. And if you can do that, then your life can change dramatically, and it can be amazing, right? But you have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself and have faith in the process. That doesn't mean that there won't be challenges, because there absolutely will be challenges. Challenges are a part of life, but that means you are acting on something that gives you energy so that you can move through the challenges. And at first this can seem hard, and really guys, this is hard work. This is work that is tough. Becoming more aware and becoming more conscious is one of the hardest things you can possibly do. However, the flip side of that is that it gets easier with time. It gets way easier to do this work with time, and also it has a ton more benefits. It starts to be a compounding benefit. When you start to do this work, you become happier and you start to have that momentum, and it becomes a joy, right? So pay attention to what your feelings, thoughts, experiences, and words in your sphere are showing you. Now, some don'ts. This does not mean that you have to be artificially happy all the time. This doesn't mean shoving your emotions and your feelings about things into the dirt and ignoring them because they're negative. A negative emotion is also trying to indicate something to you. So this doesn't mean you need to be artificially happy all the time. This means becoming aware. It's not faking it, really, right? There's something to be said for fake it till you make it, but this is not that. It's about becoming aware and being truthful with yourself. Like, this is where I really am at, right? So this is not becoming artificially happy all the time and trying to jump off the walls. You don't have to start making videos like me if you don't want to. And then lastly, the last don't is do not care what other people think about your path. Once you make the decision to walk a path that's authentic to you, there will be a lot of people that disagree with that. There's a ton of people that have agendas for your own life, and they are trying to impose that. And a lot of times, it's not even about you, it's about something else that they're dealing with, okay? So the key is walking your own path and realizing that not everyone is gonna agree with it. I mean, think about me making these videos. I'm talking about metaphysics and spiritual practice and all this woo-woo crazy stuff. There's a lot of people that aren't gonna like what I'm talking about, but it feels good to me to do it, right? I know it's in alignment with me to make these type of videos, and so it's great, right? And eventually, the good feeling that comes from acting in alignment and walking your own path, it drowns out the negativity, right? You become almost immune to it because you have so much positive momentum going forward that the people that are chirping, it's just like, who cares, man? Who cares, right? And so, but initially it can be tough. So initially, you're gonna have to work to manage your own mental state. When people say stuff about the path that you're walking, the authentic choice that you've made to walk a path that's in alignment with what you truly want in your life, people are gonna talk, and you're gonna have to be okay with that and let them talk, right? You can walk out of the room, you don't have to listen to them, but just realize that that's gonna happen. If you enjoy this type of content and you resonate with this type of stuff, then go ahead and like and subscribe to my channels, my YouTube, my Instagram. I'm gonna be releasing more content like this. And remember that you walking on your path is one of the best things that you can do for the world, okay? So you acting in alignment authentically with what you want to do and who you are is one of the best things you can do for your family, for your community, and for the world at large. Because the more we have people that are doing what they want to do and walking towards their passion and doing what they are actually excited about, the more we change the world. And so my goal with my work and my business and everything else is to support people in doing that, okay? So if that mission is exciting to you and interesting to you, go ahead and like and subscribe and continue with me on this journey. And I really appreciate you watching this video. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Bye.